Today's lesson. Prioritize quality over quantity, especially when you release products infrequently. Story 1. September 3rd, 2011. It was the first day of Season 4 of the Horror Motion Picture Conservatory, a TV show season, and I had a work-study contract with Mike to put in 30 hours of working for him in exchange for $300 off the season price. Every season came with some kind of workaround so that I could continue to attend, and it almost always involved a grant mixed with becoming Hara's only non-teacher employee, at least until I graduated from Hara and became a teacher's assistant. Hara had officially moved to teaching at a new location, AMP Studios, and classes were different that season. It was only a 5-week season, but it was an intense one because we were supposed to create a 4-episode TV show in that time. For the first time, Mike taught some classes without Brittany, and she taught some classes without him. I believe because they were planning their wedding at the same time. Certain classes were electives, meeting on weeknights to work on skills like screenwriting or comedy. Saturday was pre-production for that week's episode, and Sunday was shooting the episode. That meant we had 1 day to pre-produce before shooting the whole episode the next day. Unfortunately, the quality of the product that we put out dipped at that point. The sketch comedy television show, aptly titled Beyond Sketch, that aired on public access TV was too rushed to be high quality and had to be shot on AMP Studios' standard definition cameras, which was a significant step back from the DSLR cameras we've been shooting the prior films on. I wrote parts of, acted in, produced, and did everything I could to make the sketches I had control over the best I could. But it was consistently rough, and I was only one of 10 to 15 collaborators, so no one really had a ton of say in what was happening. Unfortunately, cruder and ruder jokes make it in when you have a dozen teenagers collaborating on improvised comedy. So to be honest, I'm surprised AMP Studios allowed it to air at all. And we had to shoot it so quickly that we weren't given time to raise concerns over what type of content was being made. You might wonder why I'm willing to bring this up at all, but this series isn't to whitewash my history. It's to explain how I learned important things. I was a teenager having my first experience with off-color humor being used in a production, and it taught me that I felt uncomfortable about those kind of jokes being publicized, and it influenced the type of humor that I want to have in my films. That's an important learning moment that I didn't want to leave out. Now, luckily we didn't get in trouble for this because we weren't being paid to make this TV show. We were just kids in film school who were making content too quickly. However, consistently making and releasing rushed products can damage your reputation, especially when the jokes punch down on marginalized groups of people. You probably heard the phrase, strike while the iron is hot. Well, the iron was the hottest that had ever been for the Horror Motion Picture Conservatory after that summer's short films premiered. And because of that, the fall season had more returning students than any prior season. People were eager to see what was going to come next, but unfortunately, people were a little shocked when that first episode came out. Fun fact 1. We shot the intro for the show by riding around Monterey on Heelys while holding a camera on a shoulder mount. In hindsight, that feels like one of the more dangerous camera stunts I've pulled over the years because we were on public streets without wearing a helmet. Always wear a helmet. Fun fact 2. This was the first season to have another kid who'd grown up in Salinas in class, and we got along pretty well. He was a year younger, I believe, and at least 3 of the ATAC 5 went over to his house at least once. In some ways, he and I were the evidence that Salinas kids weren't really a part of the school the way that other kids were. At least, not back then. Fun fact 3. AMP Studios, aka Access Monterey Peninsula Studios, was the public access television studio for all of Monterey County. There was a time when my friend and I ended up breaking into the building and setting off the alarm by accident, but that's another story. Anyway, that's my lesson, story, and fun facts for the day. I tried to include info for friends, filmmakers, content creators, public access television employees and employers, and more. So hopefully you learned something along the way.
I'd like the special, please.
Okay. That's $2.50.
Okay, split the bag.
Thank you. Boss! Is anything burning? No. We're having a good day. Yeah. So she said... Split the 5? No. No. I've told you, when you get money, when they say split, they don't mean rip. Just It's okay. In the future, give the money to me, okay?
Sure thing, boss.
It's okay, you're doing a really good job.
Thanks.
It's okay, you can keep the change.